Okay, then. So we take up this long, perhaps the longest scene that you have in the play. Some people find it tedious, but it does serve its purpose. It has a particular function. And basically, the whole scene is a testing or trial of Macduff by Malcolm. So we know, we have already been told that Macduff has fled to England, and there he meets Malcolm, and naturally his idea is to join him and you know free Scotland from Macbeth. That's his plan, and that's what has taken him to England. But Malcolm finds it difficult to trust him. And can you blame him for this? If he is not willing to trust the integrity of Macduff? Shubham wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Sir, I was saying that we can't blame him. Yes, sir.
Yes, the circumstances under which this meeting takes place, and also the fact, the evil, the kind of, you know, the way it has spread and consumed most of Scotland, that makes it very difficult to trust people. And that's why
Yes,
when Malcolm says, sorry, when Macduff says, let us rather hold fast the mortal sword instead of kind of weeping our bosoms empty as Malcolm proposes. Macduff says, let us rather hold fast the mortal sword, and like good men, meaning brave men, bestride our downfall but dumb, meaning downfall here, or downfallen, native land. And then, what is happening in Scotland, you have a very graphic description of that. Each newborn, new widows howl, new orphans cry, new sorrows strike heaven on the face, that it resounds as if it felt with Scotland. So heaven resounding, something that we have already discussed. That if something happens in the microcosm, it has its reverberation in the macrocosm. And yelled out like, meaning similar syllable of dolor, suffering. Mm. So this is Scotland, crying, weeping, women getting widowed, children becoming orphans. So this is the everyday story of Scotland. But Malcolm, how does he respond to this description of the daily suffering of Scotland and the Scottish people? What I believe, I will wail. What no believe. Meaning,
Only believe what you know.
meaning only what I know and not what you are saying. That's a clear hint of his mistrust or distrust of Macduff. As I shall find the time to friend, meaning favorable. And then He makes it very clear that there is no reason for him to trust Macduff. It may be so, perchance, this tyrant whose sole name blisters our tongues was once thought honest. But now he is a devil. I mean, in fact, that is what is true of Satan, or what was true of Satan also. He was someone who was given great importance in God's hierarchy, in God's court. But see how he fell. He was considered to be the brightest of angels. So another, reference where you find a similarity between Satan and Macbeth. You have loved him well; he hath not touched you yet. So, nothing has happened to you, because they are not aware of what we know, that his family has just been massacred. I am young, but something you may deserve of him through me and wisdom, to offer a weak, poor, innocent lamb to appease an angry God. So you might have come here because you think that I'm young and I'm an innocent lamb, and you can kill me, destroy me, ruin me, and please your God, that is Macbeth. Macduff is touched to the quick. I am not treacherous, but Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge. So when you have the kind of evil, the kind of domination that evil has, it is easy to get corrupted. Okay, and this is the main argument. And I will not read each and every line of this play, but this is the argument that Macduff has come to help Malcolm get back the Scottish crown, which belongs to him, whereas Malcolm is full of distrust. And he has every reason, as I told you. So I skipped quite a lot. Then come to line 50. When Malcolm says about what he says about himself. When he says, it is myself I mean, in whom I know. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In whom I know all the particulars of why so grafted, that when they shall be opened, Black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb being compared with my confineless harms. So this is another turn in this trial scene, when Malcolm presents himself as someone who is not worthy of becoming a king. He says, you will find so many vices in me that in comparison, Macbeth will appear pure as snow. That's very interesting turn. And you shall see why, Malcolm has adopted this strategy. Macduff, not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth. And here you have, for the first time, you have a direct reference to Macbeth as devil, someone who is damned. So even in horrid hell, there is no person so damned as Macbeth would be. Malcolm says, I grant him bloody, luxurious meaning lascivious, which is not the case. We do not find any kind of sexual impropriety in Macbeth. The play does not say this or support this. Avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, meaning hasty, passionate, malicious, smacking, meaning suggesting or tasting of every sin that has a name. But there is no bottom, none in my voluptuousness. So he continues to present himself as worse than Macbeth. In my voluptuousness, referring to sexual desire, your wives, your daughters, your matrons, and your maids cannot fill up the cistern, the tank, meaning cistern, of my lust. And my desire, all continent impediments would overbear that did oppose my will. So if I get power, I will not harbor any opposition in order to fulfill my lascivious nature. Better Macbeth than such a one to reign, such an one to reign. And he says, well, we have enough willing women to take care of you. Then I'm not reading Macduff's answer. With this, there grows in my most ill-composed affection, meaning disposition. Arthur, you want to say something? Yes. Which one? No, it is Malcolm who is saying this. Yes, but because he's desperate to free his country. You have to keep in mind the context in which this discussion is taking place. So a smaller sins must, be forgiven when you have such a high stake. Yeah. But then you will get your answer. What you're looking for, that will come. With this, there grows in my most ill-composed affection, again, his temperament, such a staunchless, meaning something that cannot be satisfied, avarice, that were I king, I should cut off the nobles of their lands, desire his jewels. So now, after lust, he's talking about his greed. Okay? Macduff says this is bad. And this avarice sticks deeper, grows with more pernicious root. Still, we will find enough land for you, or as he says, poison, meaning plenty, abundance. Scotland is a land of abundance, so we would be able to satisfy your greed also. All right. So he is willing to do. Remember, do not take these words at their face value. Some kind of game is going on. It is a strategic moment in the play where the two of them are fighting it out. Malcolm is trying to dissuade Macduff from taking him as an ally, whereas Macduff is doing everything possible to get his support. Uh, so all these are portable with other graces weight. So I know this is bad, but if I compare with other qualities that you possess, this can be ignored, as I just told you now. Then comes very famous speech where you get the idea of something that was discussed on a regular basis during that period, during the Renaissance. Who is a good king? All right. What are the qualities that a good king should possess? This particular passage takes that up. Uh, he says, I have none. The king becoming graces. So these are the qualities. King becoming graces as justice, fine. Verity, meaning truthfulness. Temperance, yes. Stableness, fine. Hmm. Bounty, what does it mean? Hmm? Bounty, generosity. Hmm. The king should be generous. Yes, Obiraj, did you want to say something in your broken voice?
No, sir, actually, I thought it's something related to abundance or something like that.
Yeah, the abundance, but the king must have the generosity to distribute what is abundant. Is that so?
Yes, sir.
Perseverance,
Yes, sir.
mercy. Yes, okay. Perseverance, that's it. Mercy, fine. Lowliness, meaning humility. Devotion, that means piety. Patience, courage, fortitude. Yes, these are the qualities that should be there in a good king. Now, let me tell you at this point that the qualities that Malcolm enumerates was something that in Shakespeare's time was taken as the ideal. That these an ideal king should have all this. So there is a great as the moment I use the word ideal, I'm sure you realize that what I have in mind is that there is something idealist about this kind of thinking. And if you remember, say, works like Il Castiglione's Il Cortegiano, I think I did mention it at some point of time in my discussion. Have you heard of it? I am writing it down in the message box. Castiglione. The English title is The Courtier, Il Cortegiano. Was a Spanish thinker. Hmm. Uh, so this was a kind of model. And yes, I think I did mention. And then during the Elizabethan early Tudor period, there was this the book called Governor by Eliot. You remember that? Elyot. I don't Elyot. Eliot. It's called the book called Governor. And there were minor texts also which tried to take up this idea but this is an idealist notion of kingship. And who challenged it and overthrew this kind of idealist theory. Talking about not how or what a king should be, what a king is. Not real.
Machiavelli.
Machiavelli, that's right. Yes, Machiavelli, the prince. So till then, and Shakespeare had accepted that idealist concept, idealist notion of kingship, because they were guided by a kind of prescribed formula handed down to them. This or these are the qualities that one should have in a good king. Now, this should have is prescriptive, and very few king could manage to hold these high standards. In fact, the reality was almost just the opposite. And Machiavelli was right. Sometimes he appears cynical because it's not good to hear that kings should be, like a fox and
Yeah,
tiger and this and that. Yes,
he said
Shubham.
that he said that king must be a combination of a lion and a fox.
Yes, that's why I said that lion and fox. Actually, these are not happy things or sweet words. But he was being realistic.
Yes, sir.
He was talking about politics as it was, rather than as it should be. So idealism versus realism. Shakespeare remains, loyal to, even if he knew of Machiavelli, but as I said, most people knew of Machiavelli, and he had become a stage type, if you remember. Ah. In Marlowe, in one of his plays, the prologue is spoken by Machiavelli. And you also have the stage type, familiar stage type, the Machiavellian villain. So not that Shakespeare was not aware of it. But then,
Sir,
yes,
sir, I think during Shakespeare's time, he was rather considered as an infamous personality rather than a admirable one.
yes, that's right. In fact, I think I did mention that many people hadn't read him, but they had read the church's denunciation of Machiavelli, and that was the common idea that people had, or the idea about Machiavelli that they had, that he and his book, they were the very personification of unscrupulousness. In fact, the word unscrupulous had become synonymous with Machiavellian. So when you discuss, there is a question on kingship, the theme of kingship, apart from the power, the idea of power and how to get it, retain it. These are some of the things, but who is a good king? And we meet three kings here, don't we? We have seen Duncan. We are having Macbeth as the present king, and the play will end with Malcolm appointed as the new king. All right. So this is something which is an interesting topic. And you must, when you think of the play, you must think of these people and how they handle these ideas that were generally associated with kingship. Okay. So Shakespeare, of course, as I said, is conforming to the idealist view of kingship. The Machiavellian view has not yet found acceptance. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So he ends by, had I power, I should, instead of having these qualities, I don't have these qualities. Instead, as he says, had I power, I should poured the sweet milk of concord. Sweet milk of concord refers to harmony of the world into hell. Uproar the universal peace. Confound meaning destroy all unity on earth. Now, the Macduff that you had in mind and you were looking for, and you were surprised that he was making concessions to Malcolm, his greed, his lust. Now he says enough is enough. So Arjo would be satisfied, as I said. Oh, Scotland, fit to govern? No, not to live. Oh, nation miserable, with an untitled tyrant, that is Macbeth, bloody sceptred, when shall thou see thy wholesome, meaning healthy days again? Since that the truest issue of thy throne, this is Malcolm, by his own interdictions. Interdiction is a technical term which refers to exclusion by decree. Accused and does blaspheme his breed. So he is basically defaming his parents. And then he goes to how saintly they were and this and that. And when he says this, Malcolm is convinced that Macduff is a man of integrity. Had he accepted Malcolm even after this, that would have confirmed Malcolm's doubt that this man is out to get me. But when he rejects him, he realizes the honesty of Macduff's purpose, his integrity, and he says, Macduff, this noble passion, child of integrity, had from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honor. Okay? So the test is over and Macduff comes out successful. Clear? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Any question till this point?
No, sir.
No, fine. Yeah, what happened to we first day he had attended and then there was some technical issues and he left and he never came back. What's his name? भूल जाइए. अरे, Arjo? Noyan, yes. Huh? Okay, but is it so? Where does he live? The internet is not that bad in Sundarban. All right, I don't know. Get in touch with him, and if there is any problem, issue which we can help him with, please ask him and get back to me, Arjo. I'm assigning you this responsibility. There might be problems, So if we can do something about it, do talk to him. All right. Then you have a doctor. Oh, no. We had already kind of no, not yet. We will meet him. But in Lear, we had met a doctor. We didn't. I did. You would. Who was successful, and he had cured Lear of his madness. But in Macbeth, unfortunately, the two doctors we meet, they are not very good representatives of their profession. All right. And we meet the first one now. Enter a doctor. And Malcolm asked him, comes the king forth? Asa, there are a crew of wretched souls, so a large number of people who are sick, that stay his cure. They wait for his cure. Their malady, meaning their illness, convinces the great essay of art, meaning the physician's skill is not working in their case. Physicians cannot cure them, but the king with his touch cures him. And this was all mumbo jumbo. But it was in fact more than mumbo jumbo. It had something to do with constructing a narrative, a political narrative about the divinity or some kind of divine power the king had. You remember the divine right theory, which I often refer to?
Yes, sir.
Now you have
Yes,
to
sir.
have some evidence. Just being anointed won't do. So they came up with this very interesting idea. এটা হচ্ছে হায়দ্রাবাদে গিয়ে মাছ খাওয়ার মতন that the ones this particular disease was called scrofula, scrofula. I'll write it down for you. It was something of throat, goiter. That was a disease that affected many, and the medical sciences of the time had no cure for it. But somehow it was given out that if the king touches, particularly in England, if the king touches you, then you would be cured. And many people did believe in it, and so they would line up to be touched by the king. But as I said, this had nothing to do with any kind of divine healing power the king had. It was just something that was made out, and people believed that they have been cured. Okay, so once again, here is a doctor who is very, brazenly says, I would use the word, though you will say he's very humble, brazenly says that he doesn't have the skill, but the king with just a touch can cure this particular disease. And Malcolm explains it. It's called the evil. Okay, this disease that we are talking about. A most miraculous work in this good king, which often since my here remain in England, I have seen him do, how he solicits heaven, himself best knows, but strangely visited people are all swollen and ulcerous and this and that, and it goes on, and how he cures them. Fine, that is divine right for you. That in order to make a particular political theory work, you have to indulge in more some kind of fraud. And this is what you find here. Okay. So this was just a little interlude, and then we move on to to that part of the scene where Ross arrives from Scotland. See who comes, my countryman, but yet I know him not. My ever gentle cousin. Macduff, of course, recognizes that it is Ross, and he welcomes him. Macduff asks him, stands Scotland where it did? Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself. Such is the condition of Scotland, that it would best forget that it existed. It cannot be called our mother, but our grave, where nothing, but who knows nothing, is one seen to smile. So only those who know nothing can smile. Because if you know, there is no reason in Scotland to smile. Where sighs and groans and shrieks that rent the air are made, not marked. What does it mean? That they are made, but people have got so used to it, they hear it most of the time that they hardly take note of these shrieks and cries. Where violent sorrow seems a modern ecstasy, meaning modern, meaning in a very different sense, commonplace problem, not something that is unusual. The dead man's knell is their scar asked for whose? Because every day someone or the other is dying. And good men's lives expire before the flowers in their caps. So life has become so cheap. People are dying even before the flower in their cap dies. Oh, relation, too nice. And nice is not a happy word here. Remember this. And yet true, yet too true. How does my wife? Haha, now comes the moment when the truth has to be told. Why, well, and my children? Well, too. The tyrant has not battered at their peace. No, they were well at peace when I did leave them. That's true. He had left them when they were still alive. Macbeth realizes that something is amiss in the way Ross is speaking. So he says, be not niggard of speech. Tell me, how goes it? Tell me the truth, that is. When I come hither to transport the tidings which I have heavily borne, there ran a rumor of many worthy fellows that were out, which was to my belief witness the rather, for that I saw the tyrant's power afoot. Now is the time of hell. Your eye in Scotland would create soldiers, make your women fight to doff their dire distress. So he moves away from the personal details of Macduff's family. He talks about how the country is anxiously, eagerly waiting for Malcolm and Macduff to arrive and free them. Yes, so even women are willing to become soldiers in this cause. And Malcolm says, we are going. Gracious England has lent us good seaward. So England is offering military help. Then Ross says, now he comes to the point. I wish, would I, he says, could answer this comfort with the like. I cannot give you comfortable words like that England has given military or promised military support to Malcolm, which a great general that is seaward and 10,000 men. But I have words that would be howled out in the desert air where hearing should not latch them. Meaning, I have words which should not be heard. So if it were done in a desert where hearing is difficult, I would have loved to do it there. What concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief? What is a fee grief? Meaning someone which is about a particular person and not the general distress that has already been pointed out. So is it something that that affects a single breast? No, mind that is honest, but in it share some more. So anybody who is honest, sincere, he would share the suffering that I have to relate. If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it. And then Ross comes out. Your castle is surprised, referring to the attack, sudden attack. Your wife and babes savagely slaughtered to relate the manner where on the cry of these murdered deer to add the death of you. I don't want to give you the details because if you hear them, you will also die. Wife, children, servants, that could be found. So everybody. No, but before that, Malcolm says, merciful heaven, what man, never pull your hat upon your brows. Give sorrow words. Express your grief. The grief that does not speak whispers the overfraught heart, bids it breath. So unspoken grief causes heartbreak. Don't do that. Wife, children, servants, all that could be found. And Malcolm regrets, and I must be from thence. My wife killed too, I have said. And Macduff says he has no children, so he won't understand what it means to lose children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all? Oh, hell kite. So Macbeth's identification with devil, hell, that continues. And it will continue till the end. So he becomes a kind of devil, a modern representation of Satan. Modern, not modern, but contemporary representation of Satan. Malcolm says, dispute it like a man, meaning get ready for war, take your revenge. I shall so do so, but I must also feel it as a man. Let me suffer. All right? And then
Yes, sir.
he does not cry, he does not weep. He says, it was considered womanly. I could play the women with mine eyes, line 230, and braggart with my tongue. But he will not do that. But gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. So I want the intervening period to be shortened as much as possible. Front to front, face to face, that is. Bring thou this fiend of Scotland. Once again, fiend, devil, Satan, and myself within my sword's length set him. If he escapes, heaven forgive him too. So if I don't kill him, I don't want God to punish him. Malcolm is happy. Now it would seem that goodness is in a state of readiness, not only to take on Macbeth, that is evil, but also to defeat him. That's where we stop today. All right? Yes. I think we need 2-3 days more for Macbeth. Second May. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Yes, do you think that we should, I will give just one day and to Macbeth and then take up sonnet? Tomorrow, unfortunately, I won't be around. I have my, as I said, I have my voting somewhere else. So I will be out the whole day. That's very unfortunate. Or we can have, if it is late, say around 8, can you manage it? If it is around 8 p.m. tomorrow? Oh, fine. So 8 or 8:30, when I'm back, I'll let you know. The moment I am back, I'll let you know. And I'll try to finish this play. Whatever time it takes, I'll finish it because there isn't much, 2, 3 more passages to discuss. This Act 5, Scene 1, that demands some detailed discussion, and then that passage tomorrow and tomorrow, by that has to be read in full, and then the play ends. So just these two, Act 5, Scene 1, and that speech. So take care. Tomorrow between 8 and 8:30, I will let you know once I get back. And after that, whatever, one or day two, we will deal with Shakespeare, sonnets. When are you going back to hostel? Thursday?
Yes, sir.
And then? Okay. So what about sonnets? No, I just wanted to introduce and just, just this. I can discuss all the 3 sonnets, 4 sonnets there, Anna. I need 2 days. Three. So I can read it in there. I need just 1 or 2 classes for that. So won't you be there on Thursday? No. But if you are there on Thursday, I can meet you in the college itself, all of you. So Thursday, anytime
Yes,
you
sir.
come, give me an hour, just an hour. I'll be in college.
Okay, sir.
Okay? Whatever it is, let's finish Macbeth tomorrow. Okay then, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
সিয়ার তুই ক্লাসটা করে দাও একটু। এই কালকে আমার ট্রেন, আমি কিছুতে আবার বেরিয়ে যাবো, বাকি যা হবে হবে।